Anime Mixer 1, AM1 for short, and today I'm gonna be playing Would You Rather. And also apparently burp. It's a game that's fun to play once in a while, and the first thing it presented me with here was apparently, would you rather be called out for stupidity or admit stupidity? Apparently, more people want to admit stupidity than to be called out for stupidity, and I think I agree with them, but for some reason it has made a mark here for some reason. Even though I haven't selected it, I just went into the site and this is what it presented me with. Anyway, let's move forward. Would you rather have an incredibly nice car or own a personal helicopter? No contest, car. The reason? I can drive the car, I do not know how to fly a helicopter. I mean, if I owned a helicopter, I'd probably be rich enough to, have someone fly it for me. But then there are all these rules and regulations, and it's just a lot of bother. And if owning an incredibly nice car is expensive to, insure and stuff, imagine a helicopter. A helicopter is just too much hassle, it's not worth it, I'm going with the car. It's a no-brainer. I'm actually surprised it's that split, it's almost 50-50. Would you rather castrate a lamb using only your teeth? Or wrestle a territorial 8-foot alligator by diving on its back? I imagine doing the lamb thing might be less dangerous. Depends. Is it knocked out or something, or is it gonna kick me in the face with its hooves? In which case, that's not good. Also, I'm the thing about if it's only the thing about alligators. If it's only that alligator, then I think I might be able to do it. I'm not saying I'm strong or anything, far from it. I don't think regularly I would just stay away from alligators. But if I had to, and if it was only that alligator there, no other alligators, they sometimes come in in flux or something. So just alone, I'm on its back, and if I can then just get to it and grab its mouth, then I think maybe I'd be able to do something? I don't know. I mean, it's less gross than castrating the lamb, but I still think the lamb is safer, but I mean, it'd be the sort of thing I'd do if somebody else would die if I didn't do it, or if I would die if I didn't do it. But having to choose, oh my god. Aha! I can have safety equipment and such, can't I? I can have a full body armor and such. Maybe the crocodile can't chew me that easily if it gets me in its mouth. And, well, it doesn't say that I can't bring stuff with me. I'll wrestle the alligator. I found a loophole. I'll wrestle the alligator. Most people agree, I think they found a loophole. If you had to dress one way regularly, would you rather be well dressed from the waist up with ridiculous pants and shoes, or be well dressed from the waist down with ridiculous shirts and hats? You know, I think this is one that professional YouTubers would have an easy time doing, because they're usually filmed from the waist up, so they would have well dressed, they would have a nice shirt, maybe tie and everything, and they could have ridiculous pants or no pants. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so I can't do that. It'd be nice. But also being well dressed from the waist down, but ridiculous shirts and hats. What kind of constitutes ridiculous shirts and hats? I mean, just regularly, being out among people, what constitutes ridiculous? Because I've seen a lot of ridiculous things, and they're usually fashion choices. So I mean, it's one way or another. This is actually just one way is not really worse than the other. Neither of these are bad. It's just which would I prefer? Ooh, wait a minute. Ridiculous shirts and hats. I would actually get to wear hats. Now I don't usually wear hats, and I don't really own hats, but hats can be cool. I mean, ridiculous hats. They would be these big weird. Actually, if the hats had to be weird, then I think I'll go with the ridiculous pants and shoes. I have decided ridiculous pants and shoes. I already have gigantic feet anyway, so my shoes are ridiculous anyway. My feet are also ridiculous, but yeah. Would you rather be a slave in the pre-Civil War South or be a slave in ancient Egypt? Ooh. I think actually, like, historically, I think the slaves in ancient Egypt had more rights than slaves of the pre-Civil War South, I suppose it's of the US. I'm not sure if that is accurate, but I think, like, I mean, when people think of the, slaves in ancient Egypt, they think of the story of Moses and the pharaoh being terribly hard and But back in those times, being a slave was more like being a servant in many ways. The term slave and servant whatever could be interchangeable in many ways. It's just that the pharaoh, I believe it was Ramses the second, third, something. Anyway, he mistreated the slaves there and forced them to build things, and that's sort of where our term of slavery comes from, I guess. But I think if we exclude that story, then most slaves were treated with fairly basic decency. I mean, as much decency as you got those days. Based on that, I would be a slave in ancient Egypt. Really? Be a slave in the pre-Civil War South? I mean, sure, it was more modern times. Maybe you could run away or something, but I don't know. You could run away if you were a slave in Egypt too. Maybe then Moses would free you. I don't know. People choose weirdly. Next. Would you rather eat a spoonful of cinnamon or snort mustard? Snort mustard? Is that a thing? Is it like that with mustard? With mustard? Ugh. I haven't done like tablespoonful of cinnamon. I have done teaspoon of cinnamon, and it's quite gross. But apparently, if you like liquidize your mouth a lot, then it becomes more bearable. Like, you just chuck it in the side of your mouth and just get as much spit on it as possible. It is on Mythbusters, I believe. So yeah, I'll take the cinnamon. Ooh, people agree. I don't know how it is like to snort mustard, nor do I want to know. Would you rather break a leg or break your arm? Here's a fun fact. I've done both. And based on personal experience, I will simply do break your arm. Because that's what I feel like was better. Because my arm was like always... I had to have my arm always like this. It was... No, it was this arm. It was this arm because it was, yeah. So this arm had to be always like that. But I had my arm broken, but I could still like use my hand. So if I absolutely had to, I had to be like at a weird angle in order to, you can't see it, but like I could still type on keyboards and such. And of course, as long as it's not my right hand, because I'm right-handed, then like using most things is fairly okay. I can still use my phone, I could still do a lot of things, and of course I can't walk around. If I have my legs broken, then I have to use crutches to get around, or maybe a wheelchair if it was both legs, who knows, and that automatically occupies my arm, so it's just a hassle. Also, all in all, breaking the arm is less annoying than having your legs broken. Both are annoying. You don't want to do either of them if you have the option, but if you have to choose one, choose the arm. Would you rather be a character in your favorite game or be a member of your favorite band? I don't have a favorite band, it's a favorite game. Of course it's my favorite game. What would be my favorite game? I actually don't really know what my absolute favorite game would be. Gosh, I haven't thought about that in a while. But I'm not much of a music person, so just bands are just... I don't care. Ooh, this is a tough one. Would you rather have loved and lost or never loved at all? That's... Oh, it's just a philosophical question here. I've heard that phrase, but it's so disputed. Oh. I think this will be the last one. It's good to end on one that's genuinely kind of tough. Ooh. Loved and lost, never loved at all. I mean, if you have never loved at all, then you don't know the pain that might come with losing. But if you have loved and lost, you have had that high, but then you've gone low, but you have had the learning experience. Ooh, this is a rough one. I think I'll loved and lost or never loved at all. Sheesh, I don't know. Are the positive emotions of having loved someone, truly loved someone, outweighing the pain of having lost them? I mean, that's a very subjective thing, and I think different people will experience it differently. And of course, love can have like different strengths, I believe. Maybe... actually, I think I'm thinking about this the wrong way. I think I'll go have loved and lost, because when you have loved, then you know what love feels like. You'll be able to identify that later, but you've had a learning experience from having lost it, and so you'll avoid those mistakes again, hopefully. Whereas if you have never loved at all, actually you might later get to love someone, but then lose them anyway. I don't know if I just broke the question or whatever, but I think to have loved and lost, because it doesn't say you can't fall in love again. And no, never mind about the never loved at all, because that you just never get to love anyone in your life. I think that's what it means. But having loved and lost, there is never anyone is saying that you cannot fall in love again, and so that is an option. And so I will go have loved and lost. Oh, 73% agreed. Well, I'm glad I'm in the majority and people agreed with me. Maybe they thought the same as me or had other arguments, and so whatever. But, okay, that was interesting. I learned a few new things about myself, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe you learned something about yourself. I will probably do these videos about Would You Rather, like, once in a while. But I'm gonna leave this video here, as I said I would, and until next time, remember, I have been AnimeMixer1, and I approve of this video.